students, I am again back with a new topic in educational research where we'll see the different areas of educational research. As you all know, I am Assistant Professor Chaitanya listening and we'll again today sail through this topic, areas of educational research. So why we need to know the areas of educational research? Because we need to find out what are the different disciplines which are interrelating with education and the field where we can do different researches. Let's see what are the different areas of educational research. The very important and first area is educational psychology. We know we deal with human beings who are having unique psychological setup. So we need to understand, we need to learn, we need to study about the psychology. When we are studying psychology, we need to do various research also so that we can understand the problems and find out the solutions of the problems which are related to the psychology of the student and also of the parents and other stakeholders in education field. So, the psychological part, which can be cognitive and non-cognitive factor, includes intelligence of the child, it includes the aptitude of the child, the interest of the child, motivational level, personality trait, needs and adjustments which a child has to do with his peer group, in his home and also in and around his neighborhood. So all these things comes under educational psychology. Apart from that, the social interaction, the social relationship which affects the growth and development and also the learning very much plays an important role in education. So we need to understand what kind of role these play in education. Hence, we need to do research in education psychology. The next area is philosophy of education. So if there is no ideal philosophy or there is no benchmark in education, the education cannot go to a further height. So we need to understand, we need to find out what are the philosophies behind the education. According to P.S. Naidu, who has listed out different areas of philosophy where a researcher can undertake educational research. Right? The need for philosophy in education, why we need philosophy in education, what are the special features of Indian philosophy which affects our education system, Indian philosophy and Indian education, how they are interrelated and what is the relationship between Indian philosophy and Indian education and how they affect each other, how they are proportional to each other, how they manipulate each other, we need to understand. Indian philosophical thoughts, the greater philosophers, the greater thinkers, who has changed the face of education in Indian context, we need to understand their thought, we need to know their thoughts. So, to understand and to know their thoughts related to education, we need to do different kind of education research. The teacher and learner interaction and relation is also based on the philosophy. So how the teacher and learner interact with each other, how they relate with each other are all part of educational research where we can do research, and this is also directly related to the philosophy of education. Some ancient educational institution like Gurukul system and the other boarding system, Jain system of education, all this can be studied or can be explored more through educational research. So these are the field where we can do different researches if we consider the philosophy of education. The next area is sociology of education. In sociology, we can study about the population, we can study about the demographic trends and how they affect the education of that area. Also, we can try to understand the political social pressures which changes the aims and objective of education, also the curriculum and the content of subject matter from time to time. Methods and techniques of teaching learning process is also dependent on the sociological aspects. Also, it is dependent on the political will. So we can understand that what kind of sociological pressure and how the methods and techniques of teaching are being different in different political and social system. Also, problems like teacher's role and uh, the social change, how the teacher can be an agent of social change and modernization, urbanization, and all these things can be studied under the research which it can be done for educational sociology. The next area of educational research is economy and education, which includes the financial system of the education, how the education is being financed, and based on that, the system of education changes. Like the government run systems are having different kind of infrastructure, different kind of pattern of education. Same way the private institutions are having different kind of pattern and education system altogether. So that depends upon the economic condition from where the money is coming in the field of education. So economy and education also goes hand in hand. If one changes, the other tends to change also. In that case, we need to understand what is the relationship between the two, as well as we need to understand how one has the impact on the other. In one way, economy changes the education and better education changes the economy of the country. So they go hand in hand. If one changes, it also affects the other. So they are very reciprocally interactive with each other. The next field of education is educational administration, where we can study about the administration of the school or education system. There we can study or we can do research about different policies, different legislature, the people who are working in the administration, what kind of problems they are facing and how they overcome it, what are the different challenges they face with dealing with the parents, dealing with the stakeholders in the education system. Also, we can do researches related to planning and school organization. Also, we can do planning related to business administration, evaluation of the institution, the curriculum that has been followed, and so on and so forth. The next area of educational research is comparative education, where we can compare the different curriculum, and also we can compare the curriculum in such a way so that we can reorganize and reform the curriculum which is followed in our system. So the comparative education or comparative study in education is mostly related to the study of curriculum and the role of universities in different areas or different states of the country, or sometimes it can be international studies where two different institutions from different countries are being studied related to the curriculum. Then the other research is curriculum construction and design. Before designing any curriculum, before constructing any kind of curriculum, a huge amount of research goes under it. So, which gives that what will be the objective of the curriculum, what kind of principles will be followed in the curriculum, what will be the sources of content, from where what should be included in the content, which were contemporary in nature, and how it will be useful for the present student in future. So keeping all these things in mind, curriculum is designed and constructed, and because it includes so many different aspects, it gives a multifaceted research area in development of curriculum and designing of curriculum. Next area is educational measurement and test development. Here, development of standardized test, development of different remedial program, tests of intelligence, different psychological tests which are used as standardized tests, rating scale, aptitude scale, attitude scales, all are developed through extensive research. So this is another area where research are being done to establish the standardized test for different purposes. The next area of educational research is guidance and counseling, where the teacher or the researcher does research related to the vocation of the youth of the country, the aptitude, where their interest lies, where their jill lies, they study those things. Also they study about the dimensions of the personality the child reflects. The study of intelligence, which is pertaining to certain field of work, is also being studied or also being researched in guidance and counseling. Also, special aptitude for different areas like art, science, commerce, different kind of music area, different kind of skill area are also studied under guidance and counseling. So it will actually gives the idea that after certain time what kind of work should be done by the student dependent upon his or her aptitude, personality, intelligence and all. The other work of guidance and counseling researchers are related to the counseling part, where they develop different strategies which can be used to help the child who require certain amount of counseling due to different kind of problems which they face in their life. So it also gives a huge amount of exposure in case of understanding or making the child inclusive in the classroom setup. So this is also a very interesting field or area of educational research. The next area of educational research is educational technology. So the technologies which are used in education field are known as education technology. It includes different approaches like software approach, where we see the different softwares which are used in education field and how and in which way they have been helpful in the teaching learning process. Also the hardwares, like different hardwares, laptops, desktops and all, they are used in education and to enhance the quality of education. How they are being used and what are the different impact it is being produced, the the OSP machine, the projectors, and all this, how they have impacted the entire teaching learning process. We try to understand that, and these are all gives a important area of educational research. The science and technology which are used, all the technologies and techniques which are used to increase the or to improve or make the teaching learning process more effective are the areas of educational research. Also, the communication system between a teacher and the student, maybe audio visual aids, the machines, the projectors, as well as the social media and the different media which are now being used, can act as the source of research. So these all are the areas of educational research which gives a important which has brought an important change in education field. So we can learn about it, that how much it has impacted and what different kind of results these will produce when they will be used in their full form. So this educational technology becomes a very important area of research in the field of education. The impact of technology in the era of technology has become a very important area in education field. The other areas which are priority in education are education of backward persons or education for people who are having different exceptionalities, people who are having different kind of economical and sociological backwardness, and how we can help them to attain education. This becomes a very good or interesting field of educational research. The free and compulsory education and its impact is also a very good area of educational research. To find out the dropout rate and the reason behind it is also provides a wide variety of experience in the field of education research. Equal opportunities for each and every student, vocationalization and the choice of vocation are also a very good field of research. Population education, education for exceptional kids, universalization of education, and education for gifted and talented person, education for economic growth, and the study habit and homework and the impact of this, and why the students are having problem in that in homework and with their study habits are provide an excellent field of educational research. Still, many studies have been already done. Still, there are scope of doing huge amount of studies in these fields. So these are all the areas where an educational research can be done. I hope you all have understood the various areas of educational research. Thank you all, and we will meet again with my next video in this course.